Did you know a person earned $180 million just from investing $120? Yes, this quirky tale actually happened, and it's one you definitely need to hear. And have you ever wondered what a Googolplex is? But wait, there's more. I'm about to share with you a mind-blowing recording that will leave you completely stunned. This one will make you question everything. Stick around, because these fascinating facts will make you hooked. Fact number 14. Here, we talk about a deep scientific fact about perspective. Many people have this question in their minds. Listen to the question. Suppose you are standing on a road and you can see up to 1 kilometer because the road is completely straight. So you understand how far that 1 kilometer is for you, right? But if an ant is walking on the road, then from its perspective, how many kilometers will that road be according to its size? So the answer is 200. Multiply it by 200. For you, what is 1 kilometer will be 200 kilometers for the ant. That means ants would think, oh no, to go to another city, it's 200 kilometers away. And now, let's take a bigger animal, like a dinosaur. So, for dinosaurs, who were the biggest of the big, 1 kilometer would feel like half a kilometer according to their perspective. Fact number 13. This is a deep scientific fact. You must have heard many YouTubers saying this and showing an image that there's hidden water, an ocean beneath the earth. So, what exactly is this? The story is like this. When scientists studied the history of Earth's formation, they discovered something through calculations, mathematics, and physics. They found that the amount of water on Earth is not just limited to the oceans. Considering Earth's size and atmosphere, there should be more water here. That's when it was revealed that there's an 80% or more chance that the water beneath Earth's surface is 4 to 5 times more than the water in the oceans. This water exists in a place that we cannot access properly because we haven't drilled deeper than 12 kilometers. It is a state of water beneath the crust, and its official scientific name is ringwoodite. It's a semi-liquid substance, you could say, that contains a significant amount of water. And as I mentioned, there's more water in this state of matter beneath the earth than in the oceans. Once again, the name of this state is ringwoodite. Fact number 12. The fact I'm about to tell you is beyond the universe, so calm your mind and listen carefully to what comes next. This might be one of the best facts on this channel. It's a very deep fact, so try to understand it thoroughly. You might have heard of Google to the power of 100. Write 1, followed by 100 zeros. This number is called Google. Now, don't start saying wow, wow, wow yet. Let's go deeper. Google to the power of 100? That's still not enough. Now comes Googolplex, which means 10 to the power of Google. To break it down, Google means 10 to the power of 100, but Googolplex, it's 10 to the power of that entire Google number. If I told you to write Googolplex on paper, you'd start writing 1 followed by Google zeros. But here's the kicker. Even if you started writing that number right now and kept going until the end of the universe, you wouldn't be able to finish writing all the zeros. Now consider this. If you count all the atoms in the universe, trillions and trillions, they wouldn't even compare to the second digit of a Googolplex number. This number is so astronomically massive that it goes beyond anything in the universe. Here's another way to grasp it. Imagine filling the entire universe with tiny dust particles, completely packed. Now think of all the possible arrangements for those particles. If one arrangement is ABC and another is BAC, then how many arrangements would there be? The answer to this is Googolplex. The total possible number of arrangements of dust particles in the universe is represented by this insane number. Now, even if you don't fully understand this, it's fine. Just remember that Google to the power of Googolplex is beyond the universe itself. Fact number 11. You've probably used an ATM before, right? Here's a question. What software do ATMs use? Is it developed by Microsoft, or does the ATM company create its own software? Well, all those assumptions are wrong. You won't believe this, but 89% of the ATMs worldwide actually run on Windows. Yes, the same Windows operating system you might have used in your school computer lab. This is a little known fact, but it's true. If you tell someone that ATMs use Windows software, they might be shocked or say, "Really?" But it's a fact. If you're curious, you can even find a reference to this on the Wikipedia page for ATMs. Fact number 10. Here's a fact about your habits. Every time you use your phone and your finger touches the screen, like when you scroll, that counts as a single touch. Now, if you add up all those touches in a single day, the average user who spends 6 to 7 hours on their phone ends up touching their screen around 25,000 times. And then there are the legends in the comments who will say, "Meanwhile, I use my phone for 18 hours a day." For them, the number would easily surpass 56,000 touches. But here's the fascinating part. Every time you touch the screen, your body's electrical current enables the phone to register the touch and respond. This is also why, if you try to swipe using the finger of a dead body, it wouldn't work, because there's no electrical activity left. Essentially, every interaction between your finger and the screen involves tiny electrical signals at the most basic level. Cool, right? Fact number 9. In your phone, TV, or any digital screen, what you see is the magic of pixels. These are tiny dots that come together to form an image, video, or text. Now, when you're looking at the screen, it's not physically there. It's just a dance of pixels that has taken my form, which is why it seems like I'm in front of you. A deep fact here is that many people don't know the full meaning of pixels. If I were to ask you a general question like, what does the full form of pixel mean? The answer is picture element. You might think pixel and picture element don't match, but here's the explanation. Picture is shortened to pix, and element is shortened to L. So, pixel stands for picture element. Just like our universe is made up of basic building blocks, elements from the periodic table, an image is made up of basic building blocks, which are the pixels. Fact number 8. Some things are just super amazing, while others are truly on an extraordinary level, and this is one of them. Today, I'm going to share with you the first sound ever recorded on Earth. Think about how easy it is to record your voice today. Just pick up your phone, press record, and done. But before the year 1860, this wasn't even possible. In that year, the very first voice recording was made. This groundbreaking achievement was done by Edward Léon Scott de Martinville, the inventor of the phonautograph. Here's the fascinating part. The voice you're about to hear is over 160 years old. So brace yourself to experience a piece of history. What you just heard was the sound of a voice captured more than a century and a half ago. It's both incredible and a little spooky, isn't it? This was the first ever sound on Earth to be captured by any device. If this blew your mind, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to make sure you never miss a video. And don't forget to like this video to show your support for amazing discoveries like this. Fact number 7. There are many large-scale things that people believe haven't evolved much, and one example of this is the movie theater. People often think that a cinema hall is just the same. There's always a screen, seats, and a movie playing. Sure, we have 3D and 4DX, where the chairs move and things like that, but those have been around for years. What's new, right? Well, let me tell you about a recent innovation that's happening in real time. It's called digital smell technology. Imagine you're sitting in a cinema hall watching a movie, and there's a scene where a sewer or a trash heap is shown. Guess what? As that scene is playing, you will actually smell the sewer. Yes, the actual odor will be emitted into the air. This is digital smell technology, and you'd be surprised to know that millions of dollars are being invested in this to make it possible. Now, you might wonder how this works. How can a smell that's not physically present in the cinema hall be created out of thin air? It's similar to how a printer works. A printer has different colored inks, and it can mix those inks to create any color. Similarly, the digital smell device will have a set of chemical compounds that, when mixed, can release the appropriate scent for any given scene in the movie. It will be perfectly timed to match the scene, just like how colors are blended to create the right one on a printer. Fact number 6. You must have heard about Bitcoin, how people bought it at a low price and now it's worth so much. Here's something interesting about Bitcoin. When you make a transaction in your bank, it's recorded there, right? And it stays private, no one else can see it. But with Bitcoin, every single transaction is public. Let me tell you about a transaction that will blow your mind. Here's a transaction that's being discussed, and you can check the complete transaction ID. This transaction shows that years ago, when Bitcoin was worth just $0.06, someone bought 2,000 Bitcoin for only $120. At that time, the price of one Bitcoin was very low. Now, you know how much a single Bitcoin is worth today. That person sold those 2,000 Bitcoin for a whopping $180 million. That's 180 million USD, not just $1 million or $10 million, but $180 million. This is just unbelievable. Imagine having that much patience to hold on to your Bitcoin for all those years, only to sell it for an astronomical amount. The crazy thing is, you cannot find out who the owner was based on the transaction, because while Bitcoin transactions are public, the identity of the person remains hidden. This shows the power of patience, holding something like Bitcoin for years and then selling it for a massive return. Selling $120 worth of Bitcoin for around $180 million is insane. But this doesn't mean you should just go and invest in Bitcoin now. One Bitcoin currently costs around $95,000. It's not guaranteed that the value will keep increasing like before. The value you see today may not keep growing the same way, so think carefully before investing. This is just an actual past transaction, and the holding period was incredibly long. Fact number 5. It's a well-known fact that the United States was the first country to land on the moon. But if I ask you, was going to the moon really a groundbreaking achievement? The answers might vary. Out of 100 people, perhaps 50 might say it was a huge milestone, while the other 50 might question its impact, wondering, how does going to the moon change anything? Does it bring money into our homes? What benefit did it bring to the country? To address this divide, a major survey was conducted in the United States, where citizens were asked whether they supported the enormous expenditure, billions of dollars, on the moon landing. The results revealed that 53% of the respondents approved, agreeing it was a worthwhile achievement. However, nearly 47% of Americans, almost half, felt it wasn't as significant and questioned its importance. What do you think about this? The general sentiment within the US itself was clearly divided. Fact number 4. Every country has its soldiers, millions of them. For example, the American Army has hundreds of thousands of personnel. But have you ever wondered if there's ever been a war where one side's entire army was completely wiped out? In modern times, over the last 100-200 years, this has never happened. Even in the bloodiest battles, armies always manage to retain at least a few thousand or even tens of thousands of soldiers. These survivors regroup and eventually rebuild their forces. However, history does record some rare instances of entire armies being completely annihilated, and these date back to ancient times, in the BCE-CE eras. For example, the Roman Republic versus Carthage. In one of their wars, the Roman Republic emerged victorious, and Carthage's army was entirely wiped out. The Battle of Agincourt, 1415. This medieval battle during the 100 Years' War saw England's forces decimate the French army almost completely. Such complete elimination of armies was more common in ancient times, when wars were brutal and decisive. However, in modern warfare, this doesn't happen anymore due to larger, organized militaries and different strategies. Fact number 3. Throwing a playing card to cut someone's throat. Sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? But the big question is, can it really happen in real life? Let's break it down with physics and math. The best magicians in the world can throw a card at a top speed of around 112 to 128 kilometers per hour. That's seriously fast for a piece of paper. Jackpot. But here's the deal. Is that fast enough to cut through human skin, let alone a throat? The answer is no. Scientifically, a card would need to be thrown at an insane speed of approximately 700 kilometers per hour to generate the kind of force required to actually cut. That's almost 7 times faster than the best human throw. In short, While it looks cool in movies, real life says, sorry, not happening. Physics wins again. Fact number 2. You're probably familiar with the concept of intoxication. Many people indulge in it because it releases feel-good chemicals in the brain, creating a sense of euphoria. But did you know that it's not just humans who get high? Dolphins do it too. Dolphins use a unique method to experience a high, and it involves a fish called the pufferfish. When a pufferfish feels threatened or stressed, its body releases a defensive chemical. This is similar to how humans sweat under stress. Dolphins intentionally provoke pufferfish to release this chemical. When they do, the dolphins inhale it and get high from the effects. They've been observed doing this repeatedly, seemingly enjoying the altered state it creates. It might sound strange, but it's true. Dolphins have their own way of getting high. Fact number 1. If you drop something from space, past Earth's outermost atmospheric layers, it's bound to break. Earth doesn't have any material that could survive such an impact without shattering. But here's an interesting question. What about diamonds, the hardest substance on Earth? Will they break too? Let's imagine a diamond roughly the size of your palm, weighing about 1 kilogram or more, being dropped from space. What happens? The answer is yes, it will shatter upon impact. While it's true that air resistance will slow it down, stabilizing its speed as it falls, the force at impact will still be so immense that even the hardest diamond can't survive it. Now, if the diamond is much smaller, say less than 1 kilogram, the story changes. A lighter diamond would experience more deceleration due to air resistance and fall more gently. This is why, even if it hits the ground, it might stay intact. Here's a fun analogy. If you drop an ant from a height, it doesn't shatter into pieces. It floats down gently due to its light weight, almost like it has a natural parachute. Similarly, smaller objects, like a tiny diamond, can withstand a fall. So, the rule is simple. Diamonds heavier than 1 kilogram, shattered. Lighter diamonds, they might survive. And that's today's fascinating fact. Let me know in the comments what you think about this video, and I'll see you guys in next video with more amazing insights.